Hi there, welcome to Cooking with Pouncy. Good evening to you folks, and we're going to do some chicken wings in the oven, roasted chicken wings tonight on my video, and I certainly hope you enjoy this video and enjoy the chicken even more so once it's done. Okay, so what I'm going to do here with the prep for the chicken, roasted chicken, if you will please, I'm going to use a cutting board. And one of the things I want to do with this prior to using a cutting board, which all of us do in the cutting board world, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a paper towel that I've already wet. It looks kind of wet, doesn't it? I wet, and the reason I did this, and I did a short video before, or the other day, using this simple paper towel. And what I'm going to do with this paper towel, as it's wet or damp, if you would, I'm going to lay it down on my counter here. The counter is very slippery. I'm watching a lot of videos where I see folks using cutting boards, and the cutting boards are literally running away from them. This isn't to be critical of what they're doing, but I think that this method, if you adopt it in your process when you cook, cutting and dicing and slicing and what have you, it's going to give you another measure of safety, so that you aren't fighting with a cutting board as you're trying to do your prep for your foodstuffs. Okay, and again, once I did this video, as I do this video and I show you the differences here, and I'll remove this for just a moment, this cutting board will move around just like that, so easily, right? Just like that. And anytime you put something on a hard surface like that, that's what's going to happen. I see lots of cloth towels being used. That's okay as well if you want to wash your towel every time you get done doing your slicing, dicing, and cutting and stuff. But just wet a paper towel like I did here, put your cutting board on top of it, and it's not going to go anywhere. It's literally not going to move. And I'm really putting a lot of pressure, downward pressure on it. Obviously, you can pick it right up off of that, but to making it move from side to side, I think it gives you another measure of safety, so that you're not chasing your cutting board. So, not being critical of those that are not using this method here or using something to stabilize that cutting board, but I really, really recommend you do that. So, what I'm going to do first here then with the chicken wings is I've got 3 pounds of chicken wings here, just bought commercially from a local supermarket, and they're the full wing without the tips. I think you can see that. Okay. One of the other things I've seen too is and I don't recommend it for me, just me, washing the chicken in the sink. I see lots of chicken being washed in the sink. The problem with that process, and it is a problem, could be a bigger problem and create more problems for you than you realize, is that the contaminants that you're spreading when you're washing that chicken in the sink, and I kind of glancing over here, even though you probably can't see my face, my sink is like right over there. But anyway, when you're washing that chicken in the sink, one of the things that's happening inadvertently to what you think you're trying to do in cleaning your chicken by washing it, is you're literally spreading other contaminants, as in the spray from that chicken. I see lots of dish racks right next to the sink, mine is too, but you don't realize when you're washing that chicken in that sink, you're literally spreading germs and spreading bacteria, I should say, even on your dish rack while you're doing that. In your sink, if you forget to wash the entire sink out to re-sanitize your sink, or certainly having done it prior to your cooking. So I don't really recommend the washing the chicken process, and I think I've heard recently as well, last year or two, that you really don't have to do that, and it's for the same reasons that I'm telling you about the bacteria and the cross-contamination and such. So, and if you look at this chicken is going to go in my oven, which is right behind me here at about 400 degrees. I'm going to start it at and leave it at. I'm going to cook this chicken for about 45 minutes. But again, at 400 degrees, I can assure you that whatever is left on that chicken, or you thought might have been left on that chicken, is going to be gone. Nothing's going to survive in that 400 degrees. So feel a little bit more comfortable with the fact that you really don't have to put it in water and soak it for 3 days and all that sort of stuff to try to get bacteria off of it, because you really are doing more harm than good in a lot of cases. Okay, trying real hard not to be critical, but constructive criticism, I think I'll call it. Okay, so anyway, we're going to take this chicken and we're going to put it in a bowl here, and we're going to get rid of this. And I've got a rub here that I'm going to use on this chicken. I can make my own rub, and I'm sure you can make yours as well. I'm gonna do this fast because my lovely wife just got home a little while ago and we need to eat. This is gonna take about 45 minutes, just like I said. But anyway, I'm gonna use a commercial rub. This happens to be Famous Dave. It's a barbecue place that's throughout the country now, I guess it is. And I've used their country roast chicken rub before, and it looks like that if you're interested. And again, like I said, I've made my own rubs, and I'm sure you have as well. But I'm just gonna do this one with this rub. What I'm gonna do then, after I get the chicken all rubbed and seasoned with this rub, is to put it on my baking sheet. It's a full baking sheet, 12 by 17, I believe it is, to roast these things on. And I'm gonna put it on this rack because I don't want this chicken sitting in its own juices as it's cooking in that 45-minute period. So that's what I'm gonna do with the rack part of it. You know, hold that up. I think maybe if you can't see the rack, I'm being blinded by the light, so I can't see what's on camera either. So anyway, no, you can see it. But anyway, it's just a regular 12 by 17 full baking rack, sheet pan, and a rack, cookie rack or whatever, cooling rack or whatever you call it. So that's what I'm going to do with that process. And I'm just going to use this, again, this rub on this chicken. Just going to break it all up, break it apart rather, because it's kind of sticking together, having been packed in that package. And I'm going to literally season this with this rub. You can see it coming out of the shaker here, and so you'll see about how much I'm putting on there. And I need to know how much that is in terms of measurement, and I will one day when I realize that I need to start doing that. So I'm just going to start literally shaking this on there all over the chicken, and as you see, I'm kind of doing it and moving it around so that each one of the wings get coated with this stuff, and I'll show you the end result in just a moment. Might look like I'm putting too much on there, but there is not that much salt in there. Typically when I'm buying these rubs and stuff commercially, I read the label. I'm looking for the content of the sugars and the salts and all that stuff. And this has been a pretty good one for me over the years that I've been buying it. Okay? And I, again, think this is the only seasoning I'm going to put on these. You can see them. And they're getting pretty reddish in color, which is the paprika that's in this product here. And I'm going to line my pan with it, put it on my pan rather. I've also lined, maybe you can see that, the sheet pan with aluminum foil. Makes for a very easy cleanup afterwards. You just roll that foil up, throw it in your recycle bin, and start all over again the next time. But make sure you put that on your pan so that it'll be an easy cleanup for you. So then I'll take my wings and I'll just kind of spread them out, not touching each other. And on the rack, I'm not going to spray these with oil, olive oil or anything else either, because they're going to produce their own fat as they're cooking. And again, I'm putting this rack here, put them on a rack rather, so that they don't sit in their own juices, therefore then getting soggy, because I don't want them to be soggy. And so what I'm going to have along with this, accompanying this dish tonight, is here's one that's still a little bit clearer than not clear, and I'll put a little bit more on that particular one. Anyway, I'm going to have serve these with some collard greens that I made the other night, and some sweet potatoes that I typically cook off a week ahead of time, and I put them in a Ziploc bag, and my wife and I love sweet potatoes, and we eat thereafter sweet potatoes whenever we want to, and I'll show you one of those in a little bit. I'm just trying to get these done so I can get them in the oven. So I'm going to be putting these in the oven here very shortly at, again, a temperature of 400 degrees, and I think they'll be ready in about 45 minutes, but at that point in time. And I won't look at them. A lot of mistakes that I see people make too is they keep looking at the food like it's going to talk to them or say, I'm not ready yet. And in most cases, that's just delaying that cooking process. So I won't look at these for 45 minutes, and I think in that 45-minute period, these are going to be done, okay? All right, here we go. Again, 400 degrees. I'm going to put them in the center rack, and that's hot. That's hot, and it's at 400 degrees, and 45 minutes later, it's going to be looked at and hopefully ready to plate up. All right? All right, I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, guys. It's been 45 minutes and we're going to check our chicken wings and see what we got here. Let I get bombarded in the face with the... They look good. They look very good. They look very good. I think you can see that. Even a little bit crispy. So what I'm going to do right now though is I'm going to take the largest one in there and I'm going to check it for doneness. Make sure it is done all the way to the bone. And this seems to be the largest one I've got. And again, I'm just going to cut into that one and see what we got here in terms of doneness and make sure these bad boys got cooked all the way to the bone, okay? Looks as though they did in that 45-minute period of time. I see no pinkness in there at all. And I'll show that to you. I see no pinkness whatsoever in there, okay? Can you see that? Yeah, it looks good. They look good. So, having said that, and I checked, of course, the largest one first, is that if that big one is done, the rest of them are certainly done as well. So we're going to proceed to get the rest of our dinner ready here. And I'm going to have, in accompaniment with this, it's going to be some greens that I made the other day, some collard greens, if you would please. Collard greens, yes, they were collard greens, and that's what we're going to heat up in the microwave. I've got a sweet potato here that I cooked off maybe a week ago. Got them in a Ziploc bag in my refrigerator. My wife and I love sweet potatoes. And so I'm going to just pop these in the microwave for 3 minutes on high and get those hot. Do that. We'll get those hot and then I'll put the greens in right behind those. And I'll put these in for about 3 minutes as well and get those hot. The remaining heat, I'm shutting my oven off. Just a little what I do as well. I cancel it. I'm going to take my plates, and these plates are designed to go in the oven, and some of the plates you have perhaps won't hold heat, tolerate the heat like these will. So I'm going to put these in the oven, and the reason I'm doing it is that I usually heat my plates, and the oven's off, coming down from 400 degrees, and I'll leave them in there just long enough to get them hot. And obviously if I was serving coleslaw or something, I wouldn't put the coleslaw on those hot plates, but I like to heat my plates before I put my hot food on those plates. So anyway, I'm going to get those potatoes hot and the greens and stuff, and then I'll start plating it up and I'll let you see what that looks like. Okay guys, it's been almost 3 minutes on these potatoes and they are sizzling in here. I'm going to bake sweet potatoes. Again, I baked these off maybe about a week ago. So what I'm going to do now while I'm prepping those for the plate, I'm going to put my greens in here for 2 minutes. And while I'm prepping my plates that are nice and toasty now, hot from that hot oven, and I'll get my potato ready. That's what I'll do with this. Chicken wings sure smell good. I wish you guys could smell those. They smell pretty good. And those potatoes are hot. So I'm gonna get one. I'll just turn these over. That skin usually comes right off. Okay. As I said, peel that skin, right? Because it comes right off. Or just grab it by the one end of it and just peel it right off there, okay? And as you can see, maybe the steam coming from the potato is still piping hot. So I'm going to just chop them up a little bit. I think my microwave is telling me that my greens are done. I'm chopping them up a little bit because I'm going to put a little cinnamon butter on these. Some cinnamon butter. And my cinnamon mixture is sugar and cinnamon, probably maybe 50-50. And so a little sugar on there. A little sugar on that one. And then I'm going to check my greens, but I think they're nice and hot right now too. Stir them up a little bit, and they're piping hot as well. They are. So I'm going to plate these up. I'm telling you guys, I'm smelling those wings. I'm about ready to grab one of them. And again, You can make your favorite dipping sauce, of course, for these, just like you would your hot wings if you're making hot wings. I do, again, progressive cooking, and I have stuff like this at all times, moments notice to get on a plate if you're hungry right quick. So these are going to be served, as I said, as you see here, with these greens that I made a couple of days ago. Okay. Right, and I put a little, let's call it a dollop. I don't know what a dollop means, but I put a little dollop on the potatoes and let it do its thing as it melts down in there too. But those are also very good. And maybe you guys haven't tried that, but cinnamon butter on the potatoes are very good. And we'll put our chicken wings on there. These look really, really good. You can see that? They look really, really good. And one I cut a while ago just to make sure it was done, it was nice and moist. And that's what you want as well. These are plating up for presentation really, really nicely. So I think I'll put another two of these here, right here. And the finished product is what you see here. And I think that's what that plate looks like. You can see that. And that's what we're having for supper tonight. And I thank you so much for watching this video. And if you like this video, please subscribe to, and tell your friends to subscribe as well, to Cooking with Pouncy. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Good night.